Howdy everybody. So this demo here was built to showcase a little something called Lenz's Law. So let's take a look at what I got here. I've got 5 different rods made of different materials. So I've got 2 rods made of aluminum here. I've got a rod made of copper. I've got a rod made of brass, and I've got an acrylic rod in the middle here. And around each of these rods, I've got a little ring magnet suspended there. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what's going to go on here. So in this festival, you may have heard of some concept called induction. And I know that sounds fancy, but all that means is that a changing magnetic field can induce a current in a conductor. So in this case, we're going to be inducing eddy currents. And what's really, really cool is that these induced currents actually have their own magnetic field. And this is where Lenz's law comes into play. Lenz's law tells us that the direction of the magnetic field made here is opposing the change that created it. So that's really cool. It's almost like these conductors don't want to change their magnetic field. They're pushing back against the change that created it. And the strength that they push back is going to be related to how good they are at conducting electricity. So what I'm about to do here is I'm about to drop all of these magnets from the top of this board. And what do you guys think is going to happen? Well, let's check it out. Pretty cool, right? So as you saw, the magnet around the acrylic just fell and hit the ground like nothing was there. Whereas the ones around these metal bars kind of, floated on their way down. And especially the magnet around this copper rod took its real nice time getting down there. So what does that tell us? That tells us that this acrylic rod cannot conduct electricity. There was no eddy currents going on there. Whereas this copper rod had some really strong currents pushing back against that magnet falling down. And that makes sense, right? You don't see your wires made out of acrylic, you see them made out of copper. Well, that's Lenz's law, guys. I hope you guys learned something today and in the rest of this festival. And thank you, and gig 'em.